When you start with almost nothing, every dollar can feel too small to matter. That is exactly why it can change everything. Small money becomes power the moment you stop treating it like leftovers. If you are claiming this builder energy, subscribe and comment "build" below. By the end of this video, you will understand 7 brutal rules for building wealth from a small starting point. Not fantasy rules, not get rich by Friday rules. Rules for people whose margin is thin, whose options feel limited, and whose mistakes cost more because there is less room to absorb them. These rules are not brutal because they are cruel. They are brutal because they force you to abandon comforting stories. The story that one promotion will save you. The story that looking successful will make you secure. The story that hard work will always be noticed and rewarded fairly. The story that you can spend now and become disciplined later. When you start with very little, you do not have the luxury of confusing relief with progress. Every dollar has a job. Every hour has a cost. Every new payment becomes heavier because there is less room to escape it. That does not mean your future is fixed. It means your strategy has to be sharper than your circumstances. Some people begin life with cushions they did not build. A parent who can cover an emergency, a home they can return to, a network that opens doors, a family member who understands contracts, credit, investing, or business, a safety net that catches their mistakes before those mistakes become permanent. You may not have those things. That is not fair. It is simply real. And once you see it clearly, you stop trying to copy the lifestyle of people whose mistakes are protected. You stop spending like someone with a backup plan when you are still building your first layer of protection. You stop waiting for permission. You begin building a position that does not depend on luck, rescue, or one uninterrupted paycheck. The first brutal rule is this: stop treating small money like it is meaningless. Small money is not meaningless. Small money is evidence. It reveals whether you can direct your life before life gets more expensive. A person who cannot protect $20 will not automatically become strategic when they earn $2,000 more. In many cases, more income only gives old habits a larger budget. The person who spends to calm stress will spend more after a promotion. The person who avoids looking at their bank account will avoid bigger numbers. The person who needs approval will buy more expensive proof. Money does not repair a pattern just because there is more of it. It exposes the pattern. Picture Nadia, 24, working the front desk at a dental office. Her paycheck is tight. Her rent is high. Her car is old. She helps her mother with groceries when she can. She tells herself there is no point saving $20 because $20 will not change anything. So $20 becomes breakfast on the way to work. It becomes delivery after a long day. It becomes a sale online because she has had a difficult week and wants something that feels like a reward. No single purchase destroys Nadia's future. That is what makes the pattern dangerous. Every small amount leaves without being asked to build anything. Then one afternoon, the dental office loses a major insurance contract. Her manager tells the staff that hours will be reduced for the next month. Nadia drives home with both hands tight on the steering wheel, trying to calculate what can be delayed. Her fear is not caused by a lack of ambition. It is caused by a lack of margin. Margin is the distance between what comes into your life and what your life has already demanded. It is the money that has not already been promised to rent, debt, subscriptions, convenience, status, old commitments, or somebody else's emergency. When margin is zero, every problem arrives like a command. Your car needs repair. You borrow. Your job becomes unbearable. You stay. Your landlord raises the rent. You panic. Someone offers bad terms. You accept because you need money now. In Machiavelli's logic, dependence is dangerous because it limits your choices. Applied to money, the principle becomes simple. The more your life depends on one fragile source and one uninterrupted paycheck, the less freedom you actually have. So your first mission is not to look richer. It is to become harder to corner. That begins with a protected amount of money, even if the first amount feels unimpressive. A separate account. An automatic transfer on payday. A rule that says part of every raise, bonus, tax refund, side payment, or unexpected dollar strengthens your base before it upgrades your lifestyle. The amount matters less than the instruction. You are teaching yourself that money does not arrive to be consumed by the first feeling, offer, or emergency that reaches it. This is small money power. It is not about becoming obsessed with every coffee. It is not about pretending that low wages are a character flaw. It is about proving that some money can arrive and remain. Because once you can protect a small amount, you are no longer only surviving income. You are beginning to direct capital. And that changes your mind before it changes your bank account. When you have nothing set aside, every unexpected expense feels like proof that life is against you. When you have even a modest reserve, the expense is still frustrating, but it no longer controls your entire emotional state. You begin responding instead of reacting. You ask questions instead of rushing. You compare options instead of accepting the first one. You can say, "I need a day to think about this." That sentence is a form of wealth. But margin can only take you so far. You can protect money, but eventually you need to increase what you are capable of earning. That brings us to the second brutal rule. Your first serious investment is not the market. It is your earning power. When progress feels slow, fast money becomes emotionally attractive. You see clips about day trading, crypto, passive income, overnight businesses, and people claiming they replaced a salary in 30 days. The desire makes sense. When you feel trapped, anything that sounds like escape becomes louder than ordinary progress. But when you have little cushion, gambling with the money that should protect you does not create freedom. It creates a new way to become exposed. A small amount invested in something you do not understand is not a strategy. It is hope wearing financial language. Your earning power is your ability to solve a problem that someone will pay to remove. It is not your job title. It is not how many years you have remained loyal to one company. It is the combination of skill, proof, judgment, and communication that can travel with you. Picture Marcus, 29, working in customer support for a software company. He handles difficult calls. He knows the product better than some people above him. He fixes problems before they become disasters. Every week, Marcus tells himself that if he works hard enough, someone will notice. Then a new manager arrives. The new manager does not know Marcus's history. They do not know how many frustrated customers he calmed down. They do not know how many problems he solved before anyone else had to deal with them. They see a support agent closing tickets. Marcus feels invisible because most of his value has stayed invisible. He has not documented the problems he solved. He has not learned the reporting tools used by the operations team. He has not built evidence that he can carry into another role, another company, or another conversation. He has been loyal to a position that does not own his future, so he changes his approach. He starts tracking repeated customer problems. He learns where people get stuck. He suggests a better process. He learns the reporting tools that show whether that process is working. He asks to help on one project outside his normal role. He keeps a private record of outcomes instead of carrying a private story about how hard he works. Months later, Marcus is no longer only the guy in support. He has proof that he can identify patterns, reduce friction, and improve a system. That proof becomes leverage. The uncomfortable reality is that nobody is required to hand you leverage because you deserve it. You build it by becoming useful in a way that is visible, portable, and difficult to replace. Look at your current environment differently. What problem costs people time, money, trust, or peace? What skill appears in job listings that pay more than yours? What task do people keep asking you to help with because it feels difficult to them and natural to you? That is where you start. Choose one skill that can raise your market value. Then build evidence that you can use it, not just certificates, not just notes. Evidence, a finished project, a measurable improvement, a portfolio sample, a client result, a process you improved. A clear story about an outcome you helped create. Income gives you motion, earning power gives you direction, and earning power changes the way you behave. When you believe there is only one place willing to pay you, every conversation with your boss feels dangerous. You tolerate more than you should. You accept poor terms. You delay asking for more responsibility because you are afraid of becoming inconvenient. But when you have useful skills, visible proof, and a growing sense of what the market needs, you become calmer. You do not become arrogant. You become less desperate. And that matters because desperation makes people easy to influence. But even a person with more skill can stay trapped if their attention is constantly being rented out to people who profit from their insecurity. This is where the situation becomes more psychological than financial. The third brutal rule is this: protect your attention like an asset. Your attention decides what you notice, what you learn, what you compare yourself to, what you buy, what you fear, what you begin to believe is normal. A tired person wants speed. An insecure person wants status. An anxious person wants certainty. An impatient person wants a shortcut. Entire industries understand this. Open your phone after a long day and you can be made to feel behind in 10 different ways before you finish 1 minute of scrolling. Someone has a new car. Someone has a better apartment. Someone is traveling. Someone says one investment changed their life. Someone appears to be building a business without stress, debt, risk, or doubt. You do not see the debt behind the car. You do not see the family support behind the apartment. You do not see the failed trades, the private anxiety, or the money borrowed to create the image. You see a finished picture designed to make your own life feel incomplete. Then, almost immediately, you are offered something to close the gap. A product, a course, a payment plan, a subscription, a trade, a lifestyle. Picture Luis, 27, lying in bed after a 12-hour shift. He is exhausted, but he keeps scrolling. A creator is talking about an investment that is moving quickly. The comments are full of urgency. Last chance, do not miss this. Wish I got in earlier. Luis has bills, he has no reserve. He does not fully understand what he is looking at. But he is tired of feeling like the person who always misses the opportunity. So he sends money. For 2 days the price rises, he feels relief. Maybe he finally made a smart move. Then it drops. He panics, sells, and spends the next week trying to recover the loss through even more emotional decisions. The loss is not only money, it takes his focus, it takes his sleep. It makes him easier to influence the next time someone offers certainty. That is what impulsive decisions do. They create a private emergency that makes you more vulnerable to the next promise. The answer is not becoming cold or joyless. The answer is creating distance between a feeling and a financial decision. Before an unplanned purchase, wait. Before an investment, explain it in plain language. Where does the return come from? What could go wrong? Can you afford to lose the amount without borrowing, missing bills, or touching your reserve? Before agreeing to something because you feel embarrassed, say you need time to review it. A pause is not weakness. It is a refusal to let someone else's urgency become your future. Ask yourself one useful question whenever you feel pressure to spend. What feeling am I trying to change? Sometimes the answer is simple. You are hungry. Eat. You are tired. Rest. You need connection. Call someone. You need a break. Take one that does not become a payment you resent next month. But once you can name the feeling, it becomes harder for the feeling to spend your money without permission. Every time you hold your attention long enough to make a deliberate decision, you build self-command. And self-command is small money power because it stops small leaks from becoming permanent chains. Still, private discipline is not enough. You can become more focused, more skilled, and more careful, and remain invisible at the exact moment opportunity is moving through a room. That is why the fourth brutal rule matters. Build a reputation before you need it. Reputation is not popularity. It is not followers, polished profiles, or being the loudest person at a networking event. Reputation is what people believe about you when you are not there to explain yourself. Before someone recommends you, hires you, introduces you, or gives you responsibility, they are asking a quiet question. Will this person reduce friction or create it? Will they follow through? Will they communicate early if something goes wrong? Will they protect my time? Can I put my name beside theirs? Picture Nia, 26, working as an assistant at a small marketing agency. She wants to move into strategy, but she assumes she needs one dramatic break. A perfect job opening, a major course, a powerful person to notice her. Instead, she begins doing small things differently. She arrives prepared. She writes down decisions after meetings. She sends updates before people have to chase her. When she makes a mistake, she tells the truth early and brings a possible solution. She does not use client problems as gossip. She asks sharper questions about what makes a campaign work. None of this looks impressive on social media, but her manager starts trusting her with harder work. A former co-worker recommends her for a freelance project. A client remembers how organized she was. Months later, an opportunity reaches her before it is publicly posted. That is not luck, it is trust compounding. Opportunities rarely arrive because someone likes your ambition. They arrive when people trust that you reduce friction, protect their time, and make them look competent. When you begin with little, you may not be able to buy access, but you can become memorable for the right reasons. You can make your word feel expensive. You can become the person who is clear, reliable, discreet, and prepared. And your reputation with yourself matters too. Every time you promise to save, apply, learn, finish, or stop, and abandon it as soon as your mood changes, you teach yourself that your plans have no authority. You do not need perfect discipline. You need evidence that your word has weight in private. Because the person who cannot trust their own promises will struggle to build anything that requires patience. And patience becomes impossible when your money, time, and future are constantly claimed by other people's emergencies. That leads to the fifth brutal rule. Do not finance other people's comfort with your future. This is difficult because it often looks like kindness. You finally begin earning more. A relative needs a loan. A friend wants you to co-sign. A partner has a crisis. A family member says it is only temporary. You want to be generous. You do not want to become cold. You remember what it feels like when nobody has extra money. So you say yes. But generosity without boundaries can become a system where your progress becomes everyone else's backup plan. Picture Andre, 32. He has spent years trying to get stable. He pays down a credit card balance. He begins setting aside a small amount every paycheck. For the first time, he is not one surprise away from disaster. Then his cousin asks him to co-sign a car loan. Andre knows it is risky, but he remembers being the person who could not get approved for things. He does not want to disappoint his family. He says yes. A few months later, the cousin misses payments. Andre gets the notifications. His credit takes the hit. He is angry, but he also feels guilty for being angry. Then his own work hours are cut. Now he is carrying a problem that began as somebody else's emergency. The lesson is not never help people. The lesson is that a person with no base cannot safely become everyone else's foundation. You need policies before emotion arrives. Decide what you can give without creating a wound in your own finances. Decide whether you make gifts or loans, because unclear loans often become damaged relationships. Decide whether you will ever co-sign. For someone building from little, a clean no is often safer than a resentful yes. A clear sentence can protect years of resentment. I can help with this amount once, but I cannot take on a payment. I do not co-sign loans. I need to protect my own obligations first. You do not have to turn every boundary into a courtroom defense. The more you over-explain, the more some people hear an opening to negotiate. Boundaries are not selfishness. They are what make generosity sustainable. And they reveal something important about freedom. Freedom is not only about what you can afford to buy. It is about what you can afford to refuse. But protecting your money and time is only half the work. Eventually, you have to build something that does not end when your shift ends. That is the sixth brutal rule. Do not remain only a seller of hours. A job can be valuable. It can give you stability, health insurance, skills, a 401 match, and a path forward. The point is not to romanticize quitting. The point is to stop believing that one paycheck is the entire architecture of your future. Ownership begins when you build a claim on future value. It might be a diversified investment account you understand and contribute to over time. It might be a skill-based service that becomes repeatable. It might be a product, a body of work. Equity in a business, a useful system that brings you clients without requiring you to begin from zero every time. The form changes, the principle does not. You are trying to create something that can keep producing value after the original hour of labor is over. Picture Elena, 34, working full-time in accounting. She watches entrepreneurs online and starts believing ownership means quitting her job, raising money, hiring a team, and becoming a founder overnight. But she has rent, a car payment, and a parent who depends on her occasionally. The dramatic version of entrepreneurship would not make her brave. It would make her exposed. So she looks closer to home. She notices that local contractors struggle with invoicing, cash flow tracking, and basic financial organization. Elena understands the work. On weekends, she helps one contractor organize records and invoice more consistently. She does not quit her job. She builds proof. Then she improves the process. She gets a referral. She raises her rate. She puts part of the new income into her reserve, part into retirement investing, and part into making the service easier to deliver. Elena has not found an instant escape. She has begun building an asset. That is the bridge many people miss. The goal is not to gamble on one huge move that saves you. The goal is to use a stable income to test one useful service, build proof, create surplus, and slowly convert that surplus into ownership. Ownership usually looks boring before it looks impressive. It starts with repetition. It starts with learning what people actually need. It starts with protecting your base while testing a possibility. Do not borrow a huge amount to chase a business you cannot explain. Do not confuse a seller's confidence with a real business model. Do not call something passive because someone wants you to buy it. A calculated risk is one you can survive if it fails. A reckless risk is one that turns a bad outcome into a crisis. And surviving long enough to let good decisions compound is the final rule. The seventh brutal rule is patience with teeth. Patience is not waiting for your life to improve while doing the same things. Patience with teeth means staying disciplined while the results are still invisible. It means building a reserve before anyone notices, learning a skill before it pays you, building trust before an opportunity appears, refusing the purchase that would make you look successful today because it would weaken you tomorrow. The world rewards visible consumption immediately. A new car gets attention, a new apartment gets attention, a trip gets attention, a branded object gets attention. A growing emergency fund, a better credit profile, a cleaner reputation, a valuable skill, and a small ownership stake may get no attention at all, but they change your life. Picture Mel, 28. Two co-workers receive raises at the same time she does. One leases a new car, the other moves into a more expensive apartment and begins traveling every few months. Mel wants to enjoy her raise too. She is tired of being the careful one. She is tired of watching everyone else appear to be living more freely. But she uses part of the raise differently. She clears the balance that has been charging interest. She builds a reserve. She takes a course that helps her move toward a higher paying role. She still leaves room for enjoyment, but she does not let every dollar become proof that she has arrived. For months, nothing about her life looks dramatic. Then her company announces layoffs. The co-workers with the new lifestyle are scared. Mel is scared too. Preparation does not erase fear. But she has more room, she has less debt, she has proof of value. She has not created a life that requires the new salary to survive. That is what patience buys, not certainty, position. And position allows you to make decisions without being ruled by urgency. The person who can wait is harder to pressure. They do not need the first offer. They do not need to buy something because it is on sale today. They do not need to follow a stranger into an investment because everyone else looks excited. They do not need to prove they are successful before they are secure. This is how the 7 rules fit together. Protect small money because margin gives you room. Build earning power because useful skills make you less dependent on one employer. Guard your attention because a distracted mind keeps paying for relief. Build reputation because trust opens doors money cannot buy. Set boundaries because other people's emergencies cannot become your permanent burden. Create ownership because selling hours alone leaves you exposed. Practice patience with teeth because compounding needs time and impulsive decisions destroy position. This is what small money power actually means. Not being perfect, not never enjoying your life, not pretending difficult circumstances do not exist. It means using limited resources with enough clarity that each decision makes your next decision less desperate. The twist is that people do not begin building wealth only when they finally have enough money to act differently. They begin building wealth when they act differently with the money, time, attention, relationships, and opportunities they already have. You may be starting with debt, family responsibilities, low wages, health costs, bad luck, or a job market that makes progress feel slow. Those conditions are real. They make the path harder. But harder does not mean impossible. You do not need to become rich this week. You need one protected amount of money, one valuable skill you can practice, one boundary that protects your future, one project that creates proof, one relationship you strengthen through reliability, one decision you delay long enough to make calmly, one form of ownership you learn before you put serious money into it. Then you repeat. Your early moves may be small enough that nobody notices. That is fine. You are not building for applause. You are building for the day a problem arrives and you do not have to become desperate. For the day a bad job stops being your only option. For the day someone pressures you and you can say no. For the day you choose an opportunity because it is good, not because you are afraid there will never be another. That is what wealth looks like before it looks like wealth. A calmer mind, a stronger position, a future that belongs a little more to you every month. If this gave you a clearer way to see money, people, and your own behavior, subscribe to Mac Wealth Rules. And comment below, which brutal rule are you building first? Margin, earning power, attention, reputation, boundaries, ownership, or patience?